Hello and welcome to your guided mindfulness exercise. This is the time machine exercise and it's designed to help you to avoid regrets, to be able to see the bigger picture when you're stressed out or you have anything going on in your life that's overwhelming you. And please only engage in this process with your eyes closed if it's safe to do so. Do not attempt to do it if you're operating machinery or you're involved in any activity that requires your attention. However, you may keep your eyes open and use this exercise as a way to reflect on your current situation. Eventually, you're going to do this process enough times till you feel like you can do it in real time under any stressful situation, where you can take a big metaphorical step back in your mind, look at the bigger picture, see all the choices, and then make an informed decision based on all of the information that's available. This audio is part of a video called The Time Machine Method, and I recommend that you watch that first so that you can get a better understanding of why you're doing this process, this mindfulness session. And you'll find this on the YouTube channel, The Smart Way to Feel Better, or you'll find it on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So if you're ready, and it's safe to do so, close your eyes and take in a nice deep breath. Just taking nice, long, deep breaths in, and making your exhale about twice as long as your inhale. Just nice deep breaths. Breathing in nice and deep. And in your own time, exhaling and making your exhale about twice as long as your inhale. Just relaxing your jaw and your shoulders. All you're doing here is you're just slowing down your breathing. And as you are slowing down your breathing, let's embark on an enlightening mental exercise to enhance your perspective, clarify your decisions, and avoid future regrets. So imagine in your mind's eye that you float out of your body and you rise up from this moment as a mind, as consciousness, as awareness. You're just floating way up out of your body. And you're getting a sense that you could look down at yourself in that place that you occupy, your body, the place you call home, in this current moment that we will be calling the past. And imagine you float all the way out as best you can and envision or just get an impression that you're very old and you're reflecting on not just your life, but all of life. And everyone that you know is now a distant memory. Your problems are a distant memory. And everyone that you know is a distant memory. And you're looking back on that moment as you're in the future. And you become aware of all the choices that you had in what you would consider now as the past. And you start to think about all of the different ways you could have done things, despite the circumstances. And these may be things that which would probably feel or have felt at that time would have felt uncomfortable. But from this perspective, you realise they were just other decisions that you could have made that probably would have made things better in the long run. As you start to include all of these choices from this perspective. And even all the things that you were doing back then, they were just part of the choices that were available. So you made a decision to whatever you were doing, but it was just one decision amongst many that you're now including. And this is something most people only get to do when they're old and they're looking back on their life. You're in the future, and you know that people only normally do this when they get old. And imagine you're thinking to yourself, why wait? Why wait till I get old? Why don't I just put things into perspective now? Some people think they have to wait. But you're thinking, why wait? And you're thinking to yourself, if I had a chance to go back with this perspective, knowing what I know now, how could I be truly helpful to all those people in my life that were probably stuck in just their own point of view and they couldn't see the bigger picture? And you know now that life is a process and it's all going to change anyway. And you have access to something that they probably don't have access to, the bigger picture. Would you wish to go back and do nothing? Just say there's nothing I can do about it? Or go back to be the victim and curl up into a ball and cry and say, why me, why? Or to be the complainer and the blamer. Just blame everybody else. It's your fault. You did this to me. Or just complain about the situation and ignore all the other choices that you could take. Or would you desire to go back and just be the best version of yourself to assist all the other people in your life that were there at that time? Equipped with this knowledge and this wisdom and this perspective that you're possessing now. Just ponder that. What would you do with this perspective? As you become aware of all the space between you and the space between you and everything that's not you. Just a bit of spaciousness in every direction, including all the space as far out as you can imagine. And nobody's in control of the space. We're all just occupying it. And in that space is infinite choices, infinite possibilities, infinite ways of doing things differently. Now ponder this. If you're thinking there, as you're looking back, and you're thinking to yourself, if I could go back, what are some small things that I could do to help others to feel better without seeking their approval? Just something small. And this is the problem that people have in the moment, is they try and think there's too much they have to do, but something small that could influence maybe the other people or maybe the situation, that could move it in the right direction, start to move it. Without looking for approval of them. And as you visualize yourself old and in the future, and you're evaluating your present situation from a distance, and including all of the other choices that are available to you, and once you see them, you can't unsee them. And you don't have to take them all, it's just including more, which most people don't do. And imagine thinking, if I could go back in time with this perspective, how could I contribute positively? What's one small thing that I could do to improve not only my life, but life in general? Just so that I could leave this world a little bit better than it was when I came into it. I mean, that's probably why we're here. To leave the world a little bit better than it was when you came into it. And you have the power to do that. Small changes make a big difference in people's life. Now ask yourself, what's the one question that I could ask myself to help me make better decisions? So that people will remember me not by what I had, or they don't remember me by what I did or how much I had, but they remember you by how you made them feel. What's one small question that you could ask yourself so they could remember how you made them feel? And maybe they would say things about you like, you know what? No matter what was going on in my life, you always made me feel better and you never judged me. What would that feel like for people to remember you this way as you look back on the bigger picture? Now gently return to this current moment, carrying this newfound perspective. We're keeping this simple. You don't want to go too far out and too far in. You should be able to do this in a moment, in any situation, with your eyes open or closed, once you get used to it. So gently return to this current moment, carrying this newfound perspective, and imagine looking down at your hand and seeing these letters in your mind's eye. You imagine looking at your hand and imagine in your mind's eye these are written on your hand, these letters HCIBTH, written on your hand, and you're seeing it in your mind's eye. You can write it on your hand later if you want, but right now, just imagine. These words representing the powerful question, how can I be truly helpful? A question that you will do your best to remind yourself of and live by. And your mind's going to try and trick you into thinking, yeah, but what about me? But remember, from a perspective of the future and seeing the bigger picture, it's not only about you. Life is bigger than us. It's bigger than me. It's about how you influence the world, and when you look back, realizing that you put the effort in to making the world a little bit better than it was when you came into. And that will fulfill you. And your mind will go, no, yeah, but what about you? Get yours. Just let that drift past. Say thanks for sharing that with me. And let it pass. And approach this way of thinking with the spirit of not looking for approval, not expecting anything in return. With the spirit of giving and not expecting anything in return. Try it out. I tested this on myself. It works. And when I went back to the old way, yeah, what about me? Things didn't go as well. I feel more fulfilled. I feel more alive now because I'm doing it this way. And every time I went back to the old way, things didn't go so well. It's like the universe is giving you back what you're giving out. And it's not easy sometimes. Your mind will try and trick you, and society will go, yeah, but what about you? Look after yourself, number one. The world is bigger than us. It's part of you. Trust in this process of helping others in the best way that you can. Go easy on yourself. Listen to this audio a few times until you get the gist of it, to the point where you can just do it sitting at the kitchen table when your family are fighting and giving out to each other, that you can zoom right out, look back and think, I wish I was back there with all those assholes fighting with each other. Man, if only I knew then what I know now. I miss them all moaning and complaining and giving out. Do it now. Reflect on the moment as if you're in the future. Look back, see all the other ways that you could react differently. So that when you do get to reflect on your life, you realise that you did everything possible to make the world a better place than it was when you arrived in it. This mindfulness exercise is designed to empower you to take advantage of all the choices that are available to you. And once you include them, you're empowered, because the more choices you have, the more power you have to influence other people, to feel better. Some people are just stuck in their own point of view and they wait till they get old and go, man, if I only knew then what I know now. Don't wait to reflect on your life to realise that you're in the moment. You never realise you're in the moment until it becomes a memory. But don't wait for it to become a memory to realise that you're in the moment. Realise it now. Look at the moment and become aware of all of the infinite choices that are available to you. I'm not making anything up here. They are available. Some people will deny that they are there. But when they get old, they go, man, if only I knew then. That's called perspective, subjective thinking. And as you practice this time machine method, remember, when you're zooming out into the future and looking at your life subjectively, just remember to ask yourself, how can I be truly helpful? And just change your behavior. Change your attention. And you can go ahead and open your eyes if you haven't already. You can do this with your eyes open or closed. Either way is good. Because you've now completed the time machine mindfulness exercise. And remember, when you're doing this exercise yourself, to keep it simple. Just remember to quickly imagine zooming out into a future time, being old, sitting in a rocking chair, looking back on your life without judgment and asking yourself, how can I be truly helpful? and see all of the things that you could do. And then in that moment, as soon as you become aware of the choices, just stand up straight, salute like a soldier, and just walk like you own the room. And just make small, subtle changes in people's life and think, how can I be truly helpful? Thank you for watching and listening to this audio. And if you have any questions, you can just send me a message on any of the social media platforms or in our WhatsApp group. And I'll do my best to help you with any challenges that you may have, any insight that I can give you to make this technique work even better. I can answer all your questions. And thank you for listening, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.